Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Matt and today we are going to be reviewing my favorite book ever. We are really taking it back to the beginning because I actually started my channel talking about this book on September 2nd, 2019, 2 years ago. And yes, this is a book that I just loved so much that I just had to talk to somebody about it, and that's what actually launched this whole channel. But the video is pretty bad and old and just cringy, so I decided to film a new one, and especially considering the amount of subscribers that I have now compared to when I first started. So yeah, if you guys know me at all, you'll know that the book I'm talking about is Vita Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dyachenko, translated from Russian by Julia Meintoff-Hersey. Reaper's Gale, the seventh book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, used to be my favorite book, and I honestly didn't think that there was any way that any book would ever top that. But then somehow this thing came along and it skyrocketed itself up to my #1 spot and stole the crown. So this is a book that I just want everybody to read, and we are going to discuss it today. This book is absolutely incredible, and I've made so many other booktubers read it, and I mean, despite the fact that my channel is tiny, I'm still going to split the credit between Matthew Sharapa and Matthew Bryan for kind of getting this book out there on YouTube. So my usual spiel for this book is a bit of a mouthful, but I describe it as a bleak, dark academia, post-Soviet Russian anti-Harry Potter with creepy, ominous, kind of Lovecraftian / House of Leaves vibes to the book. And it follows our main character, Sasha, as she goes through a terrifying but exhilarating transformation as she learns about the true nature of reality. As for the premise of the book, I'm going to split it in two. There's the super short version if you just want to go in blind, and then there's just the slightly longer version if you want to know a little bit more about the book. But the book opens up with Sasha, and she and her mother are on vacation in the Russian seaside, I assume the Black or Caspian Sea. And Sasha notices this strange, ominous man who seems to be following her and staring at her constantly. She's terrified of him, and eventually they end up speaking, and the man says that he has a task for Sasha. And she obviously doesn't want to do it, but she feels coerced into it and reluctantly agrees. And so every day for the next 5 days, she's to wake up at, I believe, 4 a.m., go down to the beach, strip naked, get in the water, swim out to touch a buoy, and then return to shore. That's her task. And when Sasha completes it that first night, she vomits up gold coins. So that is the short version. If you just want to skip ahead over the slightly longer version, I'll leave a timestamp here. But the slightly longer version is that this man continues to give Sasha more tasks, and she's told to collect all of these gold coins and to use them as admittance to this strange university called the Institute for Special Technologies, where the lessons are incomprehensible, the students insane, and the teachers are most definitely inhumane. And that's generally what the story is about. So this is a book that I just adore so damn much, and the writing in this book is just really solid. The prose is incredible, and my girl Julia, she really turns it with her translation work. And that reminds me, I should send this video to her and ask about the upcoming news that I think I have. But yeah, I feel like Julia has this just really great facility with words, and obviously I don't speak Russian, so I can't check with the original, but I have definitely seen bad translation work in When Q84, for example. It's just so stilted and unnatural, the way that everything is written. And so I think that Julia manages to really capture the vibe of what was originally written in Russian. And honestly, I told her that I think she should write a book because I would read anything that she comes out with herself. The writing in Vita Nostra really nails it in terms of portraying the bleak, stark Russian setting and the kind of dark atmosphere that we see throughout the story. You can really feel the sense of like creeping dread that permeates each page, and you feel unsettled as you're reading this book. I actually got the book cafe to pick this up, and he started reading it and had to put it down very quickly because he felt so unsettled by the story. Another really great part of this book is all of the philosophical and philological, that's actually what Sasha wants to be, a philologist or a linguist. But yes, all of the philosophical and linguistic content that we get throughout this book is just something that I really, really love about it. We're at the school where the lessons are just completely mind-bending, and they are breaking down the student psyches to the point where these students are unsure about the basic tenets of reality and human experience. And it's like, imagine having to go to school on some unholy combination of like ayahuasca, LSD, and whatever the hell. Like, these lessons are just batshit crazy, and the way that all of it affects the students and the way that it's conveyed to the reader through this philosophical lens is just really incredible, and probably my favorite part of the book, really. The first year students are scared and confused by the lessons, but honestly, they're even more scared by the second and third year students whose minds seem to have like completely snapped. And they're scared of these kind of cruel, unbending teachers that they have, and the lessons that are affecting them in mysterious ways. But yes, as these lessons go on, we get to see a lot of different branches of philosophy just kind of brought into the story. The metaphysical questions posed in this book are just really, really fun, and some of my favorite portions of it are about symbols and ontology. Ontology is a branch of philosophy that's kind of concerned with like fundamental objects, entities, how to categorize things, symbols, etc. And that makes it sound very, very boring. But actually, Vsauce just posted a video a couple weeks ago about ontology, so I'll either insert a clip here or a link to it up here in the cards. And he communicates it in a much more interesting way than I ever could. The psychological and cosmic core, the existentialism, they're really great aspects of the book. The book is actually a mystery in a sense, because from the very beginning, we want to know, like, what is the school? What is its purpose? What are these students being trained for? What is going to happen to them after they achieve whatever ascendance these teachers are training them for? And the book keeps you guessing until and even after the very last page, and I think it's incredible. Along with that, I have some very, very exciting news. I was on Julia's Instagram and I noticed that she was working on a project, a translation project for the Dyachenkos. I figured that she would be translating the companion novel Migrant, which I have here in Russian. But the thing is, the whole Metamorphosis series, they're companion books. So this book doesn't have Sasha or any of the other characters. And I noticed in her Instagram post, I saw a name that I recognized from Vita Nostra. And so I did some sleuthing on the internet, and I found an article in Russian that I had to Google Translate that actually let me know the incredible news that the Dyachenkos actually wrote a sequel to Vita Nostra recently. And it seems that Julia is just about finished translating it. And so for the people who don't like that this book has an open ending, we get more. And I'm so incredibly excited for it, but I'm also kind of nervous since this is my favorite book. I just hope that the sequel lives up to it. And one odd thing that I learned about the book is that there's actually a 15-year time jump that plays literally no effect on the story whatsoever. Like, nothing changes. It's 15 years later, but the characters are the same age. Like, it's weird and odd, but if you have read this book and you know what the school is like, that doesn't really come as much of a shock. But yeah, I think they just did that to modernize it so that, you know, characters have cell phones and tablets and stuff like that. But yes, I'm so incredibly excited for the sequel, and so I just wanted to kind of break the news for you guys here if you haven't heard yourselves. The final part that I really want to talk about is that this book is open-ended for now, before the sequel comes out, but the entire thing can be interpreted as this giant metaphor. And So the book serves as a perfect mirror held up to the reader. All books are mirrors to some degree, but most of the time you're dealing with whatever the author is trying to convey through their story. While Vita Nostra feels very kind of blank in a sense, and that's not a bad thing. It just feels like a normal book would ask you, what do you think about blank? And this book just kind of asks, what do you think about? How, when, and where, please? It reminds me of that.
How, when, and where, please?
What? How? What happened?
How, when, and where, please?
Sorry.
Some people think that Vita Nostra is a commentary on academia. Some people think it's about growing up and leaving your parents. Some think it's about ending a relationship. Others think it's about fear and anxiety and the terrible places it can lead you when you wake up one day, look around, and realize that you're in a hell of your own devising. Like, there are just so many different interpretations for this book depending on who you ask. And so I think that's an incredible part of this story. And I think that reading this book will tell you interesting things about yourself. My personal opinion on the story is very vague overall, but having read their other books, Daughter from the Dark and The Scar, I see that transformation is a very big theme for them. And in fact, the whole kind of Russian trilogy is called the Metamorphosis Cycle. And so I just think the book is about personal transformation in general, and about how hard and painful and difficult and eventually rewarding that it can be for you. I just love that whoever you are, you're going to project your own life into it and find a completely different meaning than someone else. And I just think that that's really beautiful. And regardless of that, the story on its own is just plain interesting and suspenseful and really keeps you guessing and keeps you hooked with just enough kind of clues to reel you in a little further into the story. Even if you're just concerned with the Sasha portion of the story and not at all with the kind of personal questions this book asks you, her story is just plain fascinating, and the ending is wild, if abrupt. But I just really love it, though. I've read the book so many times, and filming this video is making me really want to reread it again, and I'm definitely going to do that in preparation for the sequel whenever I get news of a release date for that. I'm sure I can get Julia to send me a copy, so I will be reviewing that immediately upon release. Speaking of review copies, I just want to throw this in here really quickly. Thank you to Simon & Schuster and to Penn over there for getting me this arc of the Veiled Throne. After they saw my Ken Liu video about the Dandelion Dynasty, they agreed to send me the third book since it doesn't come out for another month. So I just wanted to thank them. But yes, if I get any more news from Julia, or if I find out anything else about the sequel, I will definitely let you guys know. But Vita Nostra is just an incredible, dark, and suspenseful story that is about personal growth and the pain that comes with it. But you guys, this is just my favorite book, and I really hope that some of you pick it up and fall as head over heels in love with it as I did. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you guys are all curious about the Dyachenko's other books, let me know and I can review those for you guys as well. I really love The Scar too, so I should probably review that for you guys and get some people to pick it up. But yeah, if you want a Wiser Wednesday for the Dyachenkos, just let me know. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you pick up Vita Nostra and love it, and have a good one. Bye.